Iran wants to make deal rather than face military action, Trump says. Donald Trump has said Iran wants to make a deal rather than face U.S. military action, despite Tehran's insistence that its missile and defense systems will never be up for negotiation. "I can say this, they do want to make a deal," the U.S. president told reporters at the White House on Friday when asked about a buildup of forces in the Gulf, without providing details. He had warned Tehran on Wednesday that time was running out to negotiate a deal on its nuclear program after a large U.S. naval fleet had gathered near the country. Iran's foreign minister said there were no talks planned with the U.S. at present, but that Tehran was open to negotiations based on mutual respect and trust. Also on Friday, the Kremlin said the head of the Iran's Supreme National Security Council Ali Larijani had met Russian President Vladimir Putin. They discussed Middle Eastern and international issues, among other matters. State news agency RIA Novosti reported. Iran insists its nuclear program is entirely peaceful and has repeatedly denied accusations by the U.S. and its allies that it is seeking to develop nuclear weapons. Why Iran's response to a U.S. attack could be different this time? Is the U.S. preparing to strike Iran again? We all know someone who was killed. Iran protesters tell BBC of brutal crackdown. Asked on Friday whether he had given Tehran a deadline by which to strike a deal, Trump said that only they know for sure. He told reporters, "Hopefully we'll make a deal. If we do make a deal, that's good. If we don't make a deal, we'll see what happens." He said a large armada was on its way to the region and declined to give a timeline for its withdrawal. "We'll see how it all works out. They have to float someplace, so they might as well float near Iran." Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi had said earlier that the country's missile defense systems would never be on the negotiating table, and repeated the government's position that its nuclear program was peaceful. At a press conference with his Turkish counterpart after talks in Istanbul to avert U.S. action, he said preparations were needed for fair and just negotiations. Trump's warning regarding a nuclear deal on Wednesday came after he had promised Washington would intervene to help those involved in a brutal crackdown on protests in the country earlier this month. He had said help was on the way, before saying he had been told the execution of demonstrators had stopped. On Thursday, he said he had told Iran that it had to do two things to avoid military action. Number 1, no nuclear. And number 2, stop killing protesters. The U.S.-based human rights activists news agency, HRANA, said it had confirmed the killing of more than 6,300 people, including more than 5,900 protesters, since the unrest began at the end of December. It said it was also investigating another 17,000 reported deaths received despite an internet shutdown after nearly 3 weeks. Another group, the Norway-based Iran Human Rights, IHR, has warned the final toll could exceed 25,000.